welcome to another episode of the Crispy Noodle Podcast. Let us be the Crispy Noodle in your vegetarian salad of life and boring news. Folks, it's our job to give you some interesting bits in world sports, entertainment, odd news, and whatever else we happen to stumble across. Isn't that right, Mike?
That's right. We bring it to you with our unique sense of humor and wackiness. You never know what you're going to get here on the Crispy Noodle Podcast.
That's right. We have a couple topics prepared as we enter the weird end of February time frame.
It's like winter, but it feels like spring, and there's no football. It's a very confusing time for me.
Yes, although as the NFL is actually claiming this is now the non-playing season. So if you think there's no football news,
we still got some.
Yeah, there will be some issues to talk about. But before we get into all of the news at hand, Mikey, my friend, what's happening?
I don't like painting.
Okay, very good.
I painted my parents'
right off the bat.
I painted my parents' basement this weekend, and it was laborious work. It was. Yeah, we did two coats of primer, and then 2 coats of the actual paint. You got to wait like 2, 3, 4 hours in between each one. So it's like a whole day.
It's a whole day. Yeah,
it's like both Saturday and Sunday. Although I will say that the time in between was good because we walked down Ambler and we had lunch at one of these little restaurants down there, Sorrentino's Pasta and Provisions. It's a fantastic little place. They have a changing menu. Every day the menu is different based on the pasta that they make fresh that day. So you never know what you're going to get. You got to look up their menu online every single day. But I mean, fantastic food. And that was basically the highlight of my weekend was painting, eating pasta. And then also I watched 2 of the 3 Lord of the Rings movies. There was a lot of downtime, okay, between painting.
So knock out that Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, knock out the Lord of the Rings, yeah. Hey, you rewatch your stuff.
Yeah, I do.
Casino.
I do. I will gladly rewatch Casino anytime.
So I'll rewatch my Lord of the Rings. So
all right.
That's what I've been doing mostly is staying busy with manual labor and Lord of the Rings. So,
all right, we really are hitting the dog days of winter.
We really are. There's not much happening. Please tell me, did you do anything more exciting than paint? Watch paint dry, literally for me.
So I've been trying to play Hogwarts Legacy.
Okay.
Whenever Rachel isn't
also playing it, is this a problem for you too?
Well, this is the first time that Rachel has been addicted to a video game.
Yeah.
Yes. We've done like a couple of like playthroughs where if it's like a game where it's like choose your own story, I'll play it for her and then like she'll tell me what decision she wants to do in the game. So, so we've done that. But this is like the first time that Rachel actually is like grabbing the controller and is like
controller in hand.
I'm playing. Yeah. So and it makes sense. This is her fan. I do a little bit here. Okay, I'm a Harry Potter fan.
You're getting the finger wag out. This is serious.
No, it's just, sometimes we kind of, the way like we level it out is like I'm the Star Wars fan, she's the Harry Potter fan. Right. But I liked Harry Potter too.
You do?
Yeah.
You do?
Like, it's not like it's out of my realm.
No. So you've read all the books.
Yeah.
You've seen all the movies.
Yes.
I don't know what more you got to do.
I'm playing the video game.
You're playing the video game. That's
just whenever Rachel's not playing it.
Right. You don't seem like a Harry Potter fan in comparison because she is such a big Harry Potter fan.
She's super Harry Potter fan.
Like a Potterhead, or what do you call a Harry Potter fandom? I don't know.
Yeah, Potterhead.
Potter maniacs.
Not Pothead. That's
not
different.
Pothead.
It's a whole different ballgame.
That's a different fandom.
Yeah, different fandom.
But no, you're right. It's so interesting watching. And I think that's the great thing about Hogwarts Legacy. And I think we'll talk about it one day, maybe when we both finish the game.
Yeah, in 7 years.
In 7 years, it may take a while because both of our significant others are just constantly playing this game. I'm like, can I play? And she's like, hold on just a little bit longer. And I'm like, that's me. That's what I'm supposed to say.
Yeah.
And I was like, role reversal.
It is funny because the other night she played till like 11:30.
Oh my God, I know.
Rachel's usually the first one to bed. I'm usually the night owl.
Right.
And
you're just waiting. You're like,
and she went right to like 11:30, and she was like, "I'm tired." I'm like, "Yeah, you might want to check your watch as to why." And she's like, "What? It's 11:30." I'm like, "Yep, the power of video games."
It just sucks you in.
Yeah. So it's been cool to see like that. This is like the first time that Rachel has been like addicted to a video game.
And how's Rachel doing? Because she used to play video games back in the PlayStation 2 era. and then just took off like 2.5 generations.
Well, see, Rachel never played video games.
Oh,
I
never.
Mean, the only thing she ever played, she told me, was Guitar Hero. I think, which that doesn't. That doesn't even really count.
Everybody. My aunt has played Guitar Hero. That doesn't count. Yeah.
Right. Like this is the first time like she's grabbed an actual controller. And
that's
like,
a
addicted.
steep learning curve.
Yeah. That's not an easy thing to pick up and just get going.
That's super tough because, like I said, Jordan played the PlayStation 2 era, but like you remember games back then, they were like not the same level they are now.
No, not anywhere close.
Like I'm thinking of the Hogwarts Legacy game. There's so many different button combinations for like casting spells. You have to hold this button, then push this other button, then rotate the camera, and all these different things. Like games back in that era, especially the Harry Potter games, were very
simple.
Yes. That's a polite way to put it.
Yeah.
So watching people who haven't played games ever, haven't played in a long time, like jump into this game with, straight into the deep end, and like they're picking it up. Like Jordan's picking it up. She's doing really well. She's controlling the camera, which was always the hard thing.
Yeah.
So
now on the flip side though, when I am YouTubing like late at night, I'm watching like random like, I don't know, like Super Mario 64 videos or GoldenEye videos, because GoldenEye's back in fashion because they got a re-release.
Yep.
So every now and then I'm watching like I don't know, interesting playthrough of like one of these old games, and Rachel's like, "What are you doing? You're watching somebody else play a video game." I'm like, "Well, I mean, that's kind of what I'm doing with you." With Legacy.
You're like, I can watch you play the game, or I can watch something from my childhood.
Right. So I don't know. It all works out.
Yeah.
But I will say it's definitely been an interesting experience that see Rachel like actually hook onto a video game.
Does she call you to play the broom racing levels? Because Jordan cannot race the brooms.
No, Rachel's been handling everything.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, Jordan can't do the broom flying.
No, Rachel's been handling everything.
Wow, that's good.
So now, here's the $1 million question: will she stay addicted to it, or is it just because it's Harry Potter?
Oh, that's a good question.
Right.
Yeah, like how far into the game is she going to make it before she's like, okay, like the novelty has worn off?
Yeah, so we'll see. That'll be a future update.
Yeah, future update. Yeah, future update.
Yeah, see how all this goes.
How are the girls doing with the games?
Right.
It's a new segment.
Right. We might have to have a new segment on the podcast.
We'll have them call in and be like, where are you at?
Yeah. I bet you that's what Rachel's doing right now.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
I know right now Jordan's playing like some amazing story mission that I'm still like hours behind.
Yeah. Oh, well. Anyway.
What are you going to do?
Yeah, what are you going to do? We got other things to report on. And that first batch of topics that we do need to report on revolve around sports in the Sports Sampler.
So you're not good at sports. It's a very small part of life. Sports.
In your face. Ha ha! Sports coming at you in your face here. And, yeah, you know what? Yeah, we are in the non-playing NFL season. So, Mike, unfortunately, this is where football sort of takes a back seat. I mean, depending on what's happening week by week.
Yeah.
It is no longer football time.
It's inevitable.
Yeah.
We can't have football 24/7 as much as I want to. We got to make way for new, less interesting sports in the Sports Sampler. But one sport that's trying to be a little bit more interesting is baseball.
Yeah, and I actually think this is would be up your alley.
Oh, I love it.
Because your common criticism is baseball kind of gets tedious, gets boring.
Yes, absolutely.
But lately, the last couple of years, MLB is trying to cater to you, Mike. They're shortening the games. They're introducing new rules.
They got to cater to the dimwits here. Like you got to look at me and be like, how can I keep this guy interested in baseball?
Yeah. Besides $6 hot dogs.
Yeah, exactly. Well, the rule changes are going to do it. I mean, I don't know how you want to approach this. I have found a nice little picture on Twitter of all places.
Is it this one? Because I actually have a little.
No, mine has more picture and less words because I'm an idiot.
I had pulled this from the MLB website.
That's probably a better source. So why don't you take us through the rule changes and we'll talk about them.
All right. So yeah, we've got three major things that are happening here. The most obvious is the pitch timer, because this is definitely a concern that guys like you have had, that the games are too long. Well, now we're gonna pressure the pitchers. We want the pitchers to mess up. So
good. They should.
So I mean, literally, that's kind of the logic is if we're gonna pressure either side of the ball, it's gonna be the pitcher because we want to have more scoring opportunities. I'm not kind of that's a little flip it, but it's also kind of the truth.
No, that's 100% accurate. It's no secret that modern sports want scoring. I mean, it's the reason why the NFL makes the rules.
This
that
is
they
why
do.
soccer is not going to catch on.
This is unless they dramatically change soccer.
Soccer needs to change. They need to figure out a way to make it not 0-0.
Yeah.
I'm sorry that no actual competition should ever end in 0-0.
I like how we're both so predictable. Like, I always go back to football, and you always trash on soccer.
I do.
Without fail.
Can't.
We're talking about baseball, and I'm like, just like football. And you're like, and that's why soccer sucks.
I know.
But
I want to get into soccer. I want to be with the hooligans. I want to be with the dupe and the union and everything.
Yeah.
But, just sometimes when
it's so boring.
When it ends in a 0-0 tie, I'm like, what are we doing?
What?
This is stupid.
Let me ask you this. You watch a soccer game all the way through to a 0-0 conclusion. And at the end of it, what was it all for?
Yeah, nothing.
You just spend 2-3 hours watching what? A game that basically didn't happen.
Yeah.
So
nothing happened. Anyway,
back to baseball. They're trying to make things happen. They are introducing the pitch clock, like you said, the pitch timer that I see here on the image that I have. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think it's 15 seconds if the bases are empty.
Right.
And 20 if the runners are on. So I like the fact they get a little bit of time, a little bit of extra time if there's runners.
Yeah.
To kind of strategize. But I don't know. I never played baseball as a kid. How much time do they really need up there? Because that was always my complaint. They would stand there. They'd adjust their jock strap. They'd throw to first base. They'd tug on their hat. They'd throw to first base again. Wait, here comes another signal. Tug on their hat again. Throw to first base again. I'm like, guy, pitcher, get off the mound.
Well, I see what you did there. Good saying.
Yeah.
But in addition to that, there's also another addendum that should have been mentioned to that is that there's also going to be a limit of pickoff attempts.
Thank the Lord Almighty.
They can only
there is a God.
They can only do up to 3. I think after 3, it's a balk. That all the runners get a
As
free
it should
base.
Be. No, because they abuse it.
Yeah.
We were at a game one time. This was years ago, and he threw to first base 5 or 6 times. The crowd started booing him. Like, what are you doing? Just pitch the freaking ball.
Yep. So, keep in mind, there's going to be this is actually, considering that there wasn't a collective bargaining agreement or anything like this, this is a pretty big year coming up for baseball with all these changes.
I honestly don't mind the pitch clock.
Yeah.
I think it's perfect. It's the one area of the game that is just eye-dryingly boring.
Yep. So that is a big change for pitchers. Expect some pitchers to make more mistakes this upcoming season.
Or just get good.
Then the biggest debate was probably this one, the infield shift. No more shift. 2 infielders must remain on either side of second base now. No exceptions.
I mean, that's fair. The NFL has something very similar where you can only have so many players on each side of the ball. You have to have certain players up on the line of scrimmage and certain players set back from the line of scrimmage. This is not anything that's wildly different in other sports, right? Because there's offsides in other sports. Like soccer, there's offsides. And, there's limitations on where you can have certain players at what times. In basketball, you can't have goaltending. So this is not anything that's new, and I don't know why people are getting annoyed. I know it's you like to shift everybody over because then you can get an easy field out. It's okay, cry me a river, just play better. Run faster, jump higher, catch better. I don't know. Maybe I'm just an idiot when it comes to baseball.
Well, no. Look, these are all designed to increase scoring. No doubt about it.
Right.
This is supposed to be, we want games to be faster, more exciting, more opportunity.
Right. But I'm not wrong. Every other major sport has limitations on where players can and can't line up and for how long. So
yeah, it to me this seemed, I don't know.
So you don't like it because can you describe what the issue is coming from the other side?
To me, it's strategy. I don't know. To me, that added another interesting layer, wrinkle to how you play a baseball game.
Don't you think there could still be strategy? I mean, can't you have one of the player line up as close to second base as possible, effectively making it 3 on one side by 2 feet?
I guess, but it's not.
I mean, I could see teams really stretching and bending this.
See, my thing though, when this was being discussed last year, why wouldn't you? If the other team's coming out with 3 infielders on the one side of the ball, try and do your best to bunt it the other way or something where you're leaving the other side of the field as a weakness. To me, that should have been the play. Instead, you kind of have this symptom in Major League Baseball where it's like, oh well, I'm just still gonna just try and whack it, and hopefully it becomes a home run.
Yeah.
And I guess my thing is it has already lost the air of any sort of strategy at that point, especially when you're talking with some of these guys that are just swinging for the fences. They don't play strategy. They're not worried about their pitch count. They're not worried about where they're placing the ball or making contact. They're just trying to whack it over the fence.
Right.
So I guess that is a bygone era, but still, it's a little, I don't know, bittersweet. That's probably the best word.
Okay. I mean, I guess I can kind of see that. I still think that I'm looking at the diagram. I have a diagram here. I just feel like you could move, like, say, the shortstop as close to second base as possible, and not quite like stacking the one side, but like close to it, right? I feel like that kind of accomplishes the similar thing.
Yeah, it's just not the same. Not the same as it was before. But anyway, it's there.
It is what it is.
Yes.
People are going to have to deal with it.
Yep. And the final change is there are going to be actual bigger bases. Like the actual base, first, second, and third base are going to be significantly bigger. They are now jumping from 15 inches to 18 inches in width.
Again, this is just purely trying to get more people safe on base.
Yes, but also it was shown in the minor leagues that it helped reduce injuries because you had less collisions.
Okay.
So this one, I think
so
everyone...
player safety as well.
Yeah, that one I do think everyone can get behind.
I also find it exciting that specifically in the what I'm seeing is that they're mentioning that the distance between bases has been reduced because of this.
Yes. I mean, it's a couple inches, but yes.
Which goes without saying. I mean, I always like to say what's interesting about football is it's a game of inches. And now, it'll be interesting to see how this impacts baseball. If we're going to see, just how big of an impact it will have.
Yeah.
I want to see games, both teams scoring double digits every game. Like, that would be exciting.
Well,
I'm serious.
You maybe not double digits, but you're definitely going to see more runs now. You're going to see more scoring opportunities. You're going to see more people stealing bases.
And it makes the game exciting. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I don't think there's anything wrong with wanting the game to be exciting. But here's the other thing is that there's still opportunities for good defensive play here. Something about the pitch clock. I'm just thinking, just spitballing here, the pitcher gets more time. The batter also gets more time. What if you get a pitcher up there that's just lightning? Bang, bang, bang. Doesn't give the batter a chance to really get into a groove. Well, do his whole at-bat. They have these whole at-bat routines where they tap the bat and they shuffle. They do a little dance. Like you just get a pitcher up there, just a bang, bang, bang.
Sorry.
Sorry. I got to beat the clock.
Yeah.
You better catch up.
And
there's opportunity.
There is actually something against the batter that got passed as well. It is they can only call for one break from the batter box per at bat now.
There you go. Perfect example. If you get rattled by a close pitch, you can't step away every 3 seconds to go collect yourself. You got to stand there and face the pitcher just as much as the pitcher is under the gun of the clock. I think it's going to make things exciting, and not just the way that people negatively assume it's just going to be exciting because there's more scoring. I think it's going to be exciting because having time pressure does something to players in general. It just increases the overall adrenaline of the situation when you got to beat the clock. What happens if the pitcher misses the pitch clock?
It'll be a ball.
It'll be a ball? Okay.
Yeah, that's the penalty.
Okay.
And then conversely, I think it's a strike.
Is there an issue if the batter steps away too many times or maybe they take too long?
Right.
Is there a rule
That's
where
a strike?
It's a strike. So there'll be some very interesting situations where people will be able to debate and converse and I think it's going to be exciting.
All right, so there you go. Some a primer there of some changes coming up because the baseball season's starting pretty soon. They already got the players out there training coming up. So
they got to for these new rules.
Yeah, you got to get them ready. So a little primer there for you as we get ready for the baseball season. All right, but I know Mike wants to talk football, and this news story came up, and I texted Mike right away about this because Oh boy, everyone is worried about the Eagles. The Eagles are going to be in a pickle with all their free agency moves and offseason moves. But across the state lines, we heard this story coming from Giants camp, and this is wow. All right, sure, let's take it. Daniel Jones kind of had a prove it season this last season.
Yeah.
Because the team did not pick up his 5th-year option. Well, Daniel Jones did all right, but I think in his mind, because the Giants went to the playoffs and won a playoff game, I think he might think practically he's an elite quarterback here.
By practically, you mean not really.
But he's acting like it because, according to sources, he is seeking around $40 to $45 million a year in his next contract, which, okay.
As an Eagles fan, I say New York, he is absolutely worth every single cent, 100%. In fact, he's worth 50 to 55 million.
Wow.
Honestly, he should get like a Dak Prescott deal, a Patrick Mahomes deal. But no, as a football fan, this is the New York Giants. You gotta. I don't feel bad for them because they did it to themselves, but you have to just appreciate the pickle that they're in.
Yeah.
Because you have a quarterback, yes, he was, he steadied the ship, right? Like he kind of brought a little bit of stability. They made it to the playoffs.
They let him run.
You know,
that was a big deal.
He ran for, I think, what was it, several hundred yards.
Yeah.
He had a couple of rushing touchdowns. But is that worth $40 million a year?
I don't know.
But now here's the thing. The Giants, this is going to be tough. How do they keep Daniel Jones and Saquon Barkley? If you keep Daniel Jones, do you give in to the contract demands and do 40 plus million a year?
I think so.
Or the other option is you franchise tag him at like $33-34 million anyway.
Yeah, that's what is expected to be the move from Giants camp, is they're going to franchise tag him.
But don't you think the franchise tag is also overpaying Daniel Jones? I mean,
well, they got to do something if they want to keep him.
And then after you franchise tag him, right? Do you then need to sign him anyway next year? Or
you Kirk Cousins it.
Yeah.
It could be the Washington team.
Just keep on franchising.
All the Washington front office people moved to New York Giants front office. This might be their version of it.
We just had this conversation with Aaron Rodgers. At some point, you gotta cut him loose. If they're not gonna,
if he's not the guy,
you need to make that decision. And Arizona caught a lot of flack for doing that. And it looked like they had hit on Kyler Murray, and now there's some questions about that. But sometimes the Eagles did it with Wentz and Hurts. Sometimes you got to make the change.
You are not the guy. You're not capable of being the guy. I had a guy, but now I don't. You are not the guy.
Yeah, so that's what it comes down to. Do you believe that this quarterback is the guy? To me, that's the only way you can justify a major contract like
$40 million is a lot of money. There's a lot of quarterbacks out there that deserve that money that are probably not getting it.
Yeah.
And Daniel Jones is not one of them. What bothers me about this, though, is with every quarterback story, how this impacts the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yep.
And soon to be right.
Jalen Hurts has got a payday coming.
If Daniel Jones signs a deal for $40 million a year, Jalen Hurts is worth 60.
Yeah.
If Daniel Jones is 40, there's no way on God's green earth that Jalen Hurts is worth anything less than 50, 55. And that right there, I think he's worth it if we had unlimited cap space. But it really does hinder a team's ability to grow.
Yep.
So,
the bill is going to be due bigly for Jalen Hurts.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
I mean, and we already have big contracts into the 50s and 55s. Aaron Rodgers is there.
Yep.
Mahomes is 47, I think.
Yeah,
48.
He's approaching 50. Yeah.
Yeah. So
it's not unheard of.
Yeah, this isn't out of the realm of possibility.
Yeah. Another name to keep an eye on, Lamar Jackson.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, he's having trouble with the Ravens.
So he wants a big deal.
His thing, though, he wants the Deshaun Watson deal.
Yeah.
Which is ridiculous.
Well, if Daniel Jones comes out and gets $40 million a year, then both the Ravens and the Eagles are just screwed.
Well,
You think he'd be
There's-
willing to take less if it were fully guaranteed?
Well, there's a difference here with the Lamar Jackson / Deshaun Watson thing. There's a whole lot different with Deshaun Watson.
Oh.
But the thing is, their key block was they wanted guaranteed money.
Right.
Which
They want it fully guaranteed.
right,
Which you can blame Kirk Cousins for that one.
yeah, which this deal won't be. But
No.
there will be some component that is guaranteed money.
Right. There has
So
to be.
there's a little bit of a of a give and take there if you want it to be all guaranteed or mostly guaranteed.
But Daniel Jones is ruining the market for these quarterbacks.
If he actually gets this,
If he gets this
I don't think he'll. I think the Giants will probably franchise tag him
and move on.
Well, yeah, and that also gives the Giants a backup plan too. If anybody is really interested in Daniel Jones, which I don't think so,
God, I
But-
can't imagine.
but if some team really is desperate for Daniel Jones for some godforsaken reason, then they have to give the Giants 2 first-round draft picks under the
Yikes.
franchise tag.
Absolutely not.
So I think that is the probably the better move for the Giants because that keeps them
The Giants
in-house.
The
and
Giants are
they move
hoping
on.
the Giants are hoping that he regresses so they
Yeah.
can sign him at a discount. Like this is the weird situation the Giants are in. So you don't want to sign him for $40 million, so you franchise tag him for $34.
Yeah.
Okay, so you save $6 million. What if he goes out and he balls out? Then he's going to come out. He's going to go 45,
50. Yep.
50. Then what? Or do you hope that he regresses? You're
that's-
like, boy, I hope we tank the season so we can sign him at a discount. But if you tank the season and he's bad,
Well, no. Then you just outright.
you think they're just going to outright cut him? They're
yeah.
not. They're not.
No. If that plan happens, then you just outright get rid of him and you start.
But
fresh.
what if they think? I mean, because they're franchise tagging him, they have to think he's got some merit. What if he like regresses, but not enough to outright cut him? Like he throws 14 touchdowns instead of 15.
Or maybe they just don't think they have the. They probably don't think they have the capability to land a franchise guy.
If that's
They
the case,
got-
just
well,
cut him.
Well, no. See, here's the thing, though. They still need to have.
They need to put on the front that they're going to compete.
Well, not the front, but they need to be able to put together still a fighting season.
I don't know. But the
'Cause-
Eagles and the Cowboys in the division,
Yeah, I mean, look, they made the playoffs.
because they allowed 7 teams. But yes,
They want to, they want to have that still going. But
I'm just a fan of ripping the Band-Aid off.
yeah, I know that is your tried and true tactic.
Yeah.
You want outright tanking at this rate.
I want to either make the Super Bowl or tank. Everything in between is it's a 0-0 tie in soccer.
Yeah.
What's the point in making the divisional round just to get booted?
Well, for these owners, they gotta sell tickets. They gotta have hype. They gotta have people ready to go.
What's the point for literally everyone except for the owners?
Okay, well then I can't answer.
Yeah.
Look, the owners are the one paying the money out.
That's true.
So you got to be careful of that.
No, it's a collective bargaining agreement. They don't got to pay anything.
Well, they got
Those cheap bastards.
those bastards.
It really is a racket. They're like,
Yeah.
oh, the city pays for the stadium.
Yep.
The NFL pays for the salaries.
Anyway, the whole point of this is, yeah, the Giants are in a really weird position.
They are.
But I to go back to your point, if he sucks, then they just outright cut him. Then
Right.
they let him go,
They
and
should have just done it.
you refresh.
They were so bad last year. They should have just done it. But they were like committed. They're like, oh, he's a rookie, kind of, sort of.
Yeah.
Like, he's still
That-
growing.
To go back to what you said with Kyler Murray, I think that might actually end up being the norm now. It's going to. I bet you the Jets are kind of in that pickle too.
me
They
me
don't
and
like
JB
Zach Wilson.
me
They're-
and
they're
JB
gonna-
talk about it all the time. I heard somebody, I can't remember who, float
for
an
lack of
idea.
a better word, Howie Roseman was right about the quarterback factory.
I heard somebody, an analyst or a commentator at some point several years ago, talk about how the NFL could take on a college-like model for quarterbacks, right? And me and JB talk about this all the time, where it doesn't make sense to commit like 20 to 30% of the cap to a single player when you got to sign 52 others.
No.
So, what this analyst said several years ago, what I've been saying for the past couple of years is you find a rookie you like, you go as far as you can, because Super Bowl windows are typically very small. Everybody thinks that a Super Bowl window is like 15 years because of the Patriots and because of the Chiefs.
No.
They are the exception to the rule. Super Bowl window is 2 to 3 seasons at best.
Yep.
You find your rookie. You go as far as you can. It doesn't work out. You try again.
Yep.
You tank, you get the picks, you try again. The Eagles did it. They went to 2 Super Bowls in 5 years following that model.
Yeah.
The Rams got rid of their guy. They bring in Stafford, quick rental. They go to a Super Bowl.
There you go.
Rich's laptop, it wasn't happy with the previous software. It got new software, and now here we are, a Super Bowl. You got to be able to cycle these things, just like Windows updates, very frequently, all the time.
Why is it the one time I forget to put the notifications off? It happens.
Windows is a very intrusive operating system
Boy.
sometimes.
Thank you, Windows. Very, very important.
But
I got that notification right now.
Thank you, Windows. But back to the topic at hand. I really do think that teams need to really think about where, they're committing their resources. Yes, having a franchise guy makes it easier, but having a franchise guy also prevents you from winning Super Bowls sometimes. Aaron Rodgers won 1.
Yep.
Drew Brees won 1. That's it.
Yep.
So something to think about.
Yep.
Quarterback factory.
So let's cycle through the segments then, if we will here, and let's move away from the untimed portion of the show, or go to a timed portion of the show. We're bringing back the 3-minute drill. We're going to hit a couple topics in 3 minutes or less. You ready, Mike?
I'm ready.
All right. Clock is armed. There you go. What's the topic?
All right. Well, this is one big topic relating specifically to the Philadelphia Eagles. Even though we lost the Super Bowl, the NFL still wants to rub some salt in it. Former NFL execs say that the NFL is going to review the now famous quarterback sneak play that the Eagles run. The Eagles run a quarterback sneak in which Hurts lines up under center and 2 or 3 players line up behind him and push him while the offensive line gets into a very low stance, almost like a rugby scrum, right?
Yes.
And this has been so successful for the Eagles. They ran it 10 times in the Super Bowl. They converted on all 10, I think. Jason Kelsey says that the play has a 92% success rate. They just call it the 92%er. That's also the nickname for their podcast, I think. But here you go. Former VP of Officiating Dean Blandino said, quote, "The NFL wants to showcase the athleticism and skill of our athletes. This is just not a skillful play. This is just a tactic that is not an aesthetically pleasing play, and I think the competition committee is going to take a look at it," end quote. He also equates the play to how defenders used to push each other through the line on point-after attempts, a play which was also outlawed. So, Rich, it's not aesthetically pleasing. What do you think?
Well, by that logic, then, I don't want to see any quarterback kneels.
Oh.
Yes, that's my compromise.
I like it.
No more quarterback kneel downs to run out the clock. You at least have to hand it off, because at least then there's a chance of a fumble or a handoff gone wrong.
100%.
That is my counter offer.
100%.
Because that's ridiculous. You're literally going after a play that the Eagles have been, that's their bread and butter.
Yeah.
And you're going to take it out of the playbook.
No one was stopping 31 other teams from trying it.
Yeah. Right?
And I think, conversely, I think it is aesthetically pleasing, because there's something so amazing my dad's talked about, just like watching them dominate. Just like pushing the entire pile forward like 4 or 5 yards. There's just something about it. It's like, wow, it's just exerting their like sheer will on an immovable force. Like, that's kind of exciting.
Right.
So I think it's BS.
And if you don't like it, then don't be in that position to be with. Your defense needs to stop the other team from getting to those 4th and 1, 4th and inches situations.
Right. And also, 92% is not 100%. Teams have stopped us, rarely, but they have.
Yeah.
Just get good.
Yeah. I don't understand this. Dean Blandino can jump off a pier.
There you go.
The whole competition committee can jump off a pier, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
Unless they're going to go and review every play that's not aesthetically pleasing. So, like, a quarterback kneel to me is not aesthetically pleasing.
No, not at all. I agree.
Take that out of the book as well. That's my only compromise.
There you go.
That's what I say.
We almost had a "What's Pissing Me Off" segment.
Yeah, we had a good run there. And there you go. That's what we have for you in the sports sampler. So, yeah, we got fired up there towards the end. So maybe we do need to calm down and get our blood pressures regulated again.
Yeah, just take a short little break here.
Yeah. And we'll come back with the entertainment entree and then the non-fortune cookie odd news coming your way after the break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back here on the Crispy Noodle Podcast.
Ready for the weekend? Happy Friday. Hi, my name's Marie, and I'm an artist who's been making Happy Friday doodles every week for over 7 years. And now you can own my art collection in this Volume 1 and Volume 2 art series. These doodles span across multiple themes, yearly festivities, various countries, languages, and more. Both coffee table books have something for everyone and are the perfect conversation starter or gift for a friend. Really, anyone who enjoys a good weekend. Available on Amazon, Ingram, BookBaby, Barnes & Noble, and more. Visit happyfridaydoodles.com/books and get your copies today. Let's celebrate the best day of the week. Happy Friday.
If you go to Taco Bell at 3 a.m, this is what you're going to get. Yeah,
That clip is already coming into play.
Yes, already. So there you go.
Stop.
What happened?
The thing went on.
Well, how did that turn on? That was
I
weird.
don't know. The fart sound.
The fart sound turned Amazon on?
I think the fart sound turned on my Echo.
What the
I
hell?
don't know. It turned on.
What are you doing, Jeff Bezos? What are you into?
Basically, he's listening to fart sounds.
He's listening to our fart sounds. Oh, my God.
I changed the trigger word to fart. I got to fart at it now. I don't know what happened.
That's really awkward. You're going to have to... Excuse me.
Excuse me. How can I help you?
You may need some bowel.
Do you want me to automatically order you Pepto-Bismol? I don't know why. I don't know why I'm talking to it solely through farts now.
It actually, you fart into it.
Fart once for yes and twice for no.
No. Actually, you fart into the device, and then Amazon can determine
what
what medicine you need.
Oh, right. Wow. That's next level right there. Or what you've been eating and what you want to reorder. I detect Cheetos. Would you like to subscribe?
Would you like a bulk order of Cheetos?
Ooh, yes, please.
Cheetos ordered.
Cheetos. That story took a turn.
Yeah.
Cheetos ordered.
Okay. All right. There you go. The latest from Jeff Bezos and Amazon.
It's amazing technology, I tell you.
Yeah. Yeah, we're back here on the Crispy Noodle Podcast. Yep. We actually did have a lot of football news in that sports sampler.
Yeah, we did. I'm
keeping my eye on you. You're trying to sneak in more football news than needs to be, but that was actually appropriate with...
Hey, man, what are you going to do?
That Daniel Jones thing is ridiculous. Good luck, Giants. Have fun with that.
Oh, man, they're in a pickle.
Yeah. All right, so let's leave the sports realm and go into the next part of the show. We're going to talk about some movies, TV, and video games in the entertainment entree.
And now, the latest in movies.
The Simpson guy writes to movies. Dear Die Hard, you rock. Especially when that guy was on the roof.
Music.
I know what that is. That's music.
Video games.
I'm Commander Shepard, and this is my favorite store on the Citadel.
Celebrities.
You really know Warren Beatty? Yes, I do. I took a leak next to him once at the Golden Globes.
And more.
You were the all-singing, all-dancing crap of the world.
This is the entertainment entree.
All right, entertainment entree time, and we're going to kick it off with the segment where Mike is going to let you know what you should keep an eye out for this upcoming weekend with movies, TV, and video games in Mike's This Week in Entertainment. All right, Mikey, what should people check out that's new?
All right, well, in movies, we got a big week in movies. Cocaine Bear comes to theaters.
Yes, this is a real movie.
I am not making this up. This is a real movie. This dark comedy is exactly what it sounds like. A bear eats a huge amount of cocaine and goes on a rampage, causing a group of cops, criminals, tourists, and teens to come together to stop it. If this movie sounds like it could be in a different segment, then you're right. This is based on an actual true story worthy of the odd news. Apparently this actually happened. A bear got into a bunch of cocaine and
went crazy.
So, Cocaine Bear coming to theaters this weekend.
Thank you, Hollywood.
Are they officially out of ideas now? Like,
Yes.
is this it? Was this the last idea?
I think so.
This is the dying gasp.
Yep.
Of Hollywood.
Yep.
Awesome. Well, in that case, turn away from Hollywood into video games instead of real entertainment. How about virtual reality entertainment? PlayStation VR 2 comes out exclusively for the PlayStation 5. Reviewers are enjoying the new headset so far, saying that the tech is incredible. It has 4K screens in the eyes. It has individual eye tracking inside the headset, so it can track your pupils and where they're looking and use that as an actual input for the games. And in addition to that, there's no cameras required either on the outside to track the headset itself. So a lot of great tech packed into this package. But of course, there's also a lack of games for it right now during the launch week. So if you do pick up PlayStation VR 2, don't expect to be playing too many big games. There's a few out for it now, but that's one of the big complaints of reviewers, not enough games. But support should pick up quickly. There's 40 games slated for the release window, the launch window, whatever that means, the couple of months after release. And PlayStation has a video presentation lined up to announce even more VR games. So support should pick up quickly. And like I said, reviewers and developers are really excited about the tech behind the headset itself. So a lot of fun there for people who like to be on the cutting edge of technology and video games. And that's what we're looking forward to this week in entertainment.
All right, thank you for that segment this week in entertainment. You saw this news story here for the video game developer Bungie going after online cheaters.
Yeah, this is an interesting developing story.
Is this a modern form of cheaters' justice?
Maybe. So Sony developer Bungie is cracking down on online cheaters. They are currently involved in, or rather they just won a lawsuit, and they're involved in another with organizations who sell game cheats for the online game Destiny 2. So online, these cheats that they're selling include things like aimbots or wall hacks. So an aimbot is something that aims for you, and a wall hack is where you can, walk through walls and like abuse the geometry of a level. So in an online game like Destiny 2, it really makes an uneven playing field where some people, have all these aimbots and they're just winning, everything and playing amazingly, and it kind of like makes it suck for other players.
Destiny is like a massive multiplayer online game.
A lot of it is based on the online play. You can play it single player, but it's really designed around running missions and raids and exploring with, a group of players, and then also there's the player versus player component as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, a lot of it is maintaining that competitive balance. But to the lawsuits here, Bungie just won $4.3 million against a cheat seller called Aim Junkies. That's $2,500 for each of the 1,361 violations that they found.
Oof.
And they're involved in another lawsuit right now with cheat seller Lavi Cheats. They're hit with a $6.7 million lawsuit, and Bungie is seeking $2,000 for each of the cheat software downloaded from the creator's site. So Bungie is claiming that cheating has led to player retention issues, right? That because players are cheating, other players don't want to play.
Yeah.
And they're saying this is costing them sales. It's costing them sales of the game, loss of downloadable content sales, microtransactions, all that stuff. More importantly, though, it also claims that it infringes their copyright because code was reverse engineered to make the cheats. Now, you might be thinking, how big can this be? Cheating in online games is a big global business, apparently. One operation busted by police in China, I believe, had revenue totaling $76 million. So these are big operations here, these cheat sellers. But the big question here that I'm seeing online, and it's an interesting thing because I see two sides of the argument. I see people really excited that they're cracking down on cheaters to make the games more accessible, more fair. But I wonder, is this an appropriate response, or has Bungie gone too far with pursuing civil suit actions against these cheat sellers? Rich, what do you think?
I think the punishment depends on kind of the person at hand that is perpetrating the cheating.
Okay.
And I imagine that these guys, aim junkies and Lavi cheats, I imagine they're selling their cheats.
And that's the big thing. This isn't like if you cheat, you're not getting sued. These are the people who are creating.
They're specifically creating a code for people online to buy, install in their games, and then have an unfair advantage.
Right.
So they're making a profit off of cheating.
Correct.
Yeah, I think in that capacity, Bungie's right.
Yeah.
That's unfair. Because they are profiting off of their game.
They are profiting off of breaking software that Bungie's selling. Absolutely.
Now, to hit my millennial heart, if you're trying to compare this to someone downloading music off of Napster, if it was just one person just kind of messing around with files, that I would be like, okay, that's overkill. You shouldn't go after them like Lars Ulrich did. They did against Napster and all that stuff. That's where the punishment doesn't fit the criminal at hand.
Right. If you're taking down syndicates, right, that's one thing.
This seems to be an organization that is purposely trying to make money off of their content.
Right. And the key here is that they reverse engineered the code.
Yeah.
So that's what Bungie is claiming. Now, interestingly enough, some of the lawsuits were thrown out originally because judges were saying cheating is not against the law. There's nothing that says that cheating is against the law. And then Bungie went back and they actually reverse engineered a code. They found more examples, more instances, and then the judge ruled in their favor in the one case that they've won so far.
Mm-hmm.
But, there is, in my mind, I agree that
also what was it that cheating's not against the rules?
Cheating's not against the law.
Or not against the law? I don't know. Ask some people in Vegas. That can get dicey very quickly.
Yeah. Well, I mean, legally speaking, I guess cheating is. Well, you're right. Cheating in Vegas, they view it as law, but it's really
they view it worse than law.
Yeah.
You will not be allowed to set foot in the city limits.
Yeah, but they couldn't take legal action against you, I think. Right?
What? Them forcing you to drive out to the city limits? That's not legal action?
I mean, I guess
that's
maybe.
some sort of action.
That's some sort of action. But the concern...
Digging a hole in the ground and putting you in it? Oh, that's some sort of action.
You're watching too much Casino. The concern here, the real concern here, rather than being buried in the desert, is... And I've seen this mentioned online. What does this do for then modding communities?
Can I just since you mentioned
Go
Casino.
ahead.
The probability on one four-wheel machine is 1.5 million to 1. On 3 machines in a row, it's in the billions. It cannot happen. Would not happen. You Momo, what's the matter with you?
Momo.
I had to dig that one out.
No,
Anyway,
that's a good one.
Sorry. It cannot happen. Would not happen.
Yeah, Momo. But the concern here with these lawsuits is, what does this mean for communities like the modding community or the speedrun community who, find exploits in games, or the modding community specifically taking code and engineering it for entertainment purposes, or
So the modding people have something to worry about. I'll give them that.
Yeah.
The speedrunning community, though, that shouldn't be an issue because you're not trying to.
I think it's
destroy the game. You're just trying to find clever ways to work around the game.
I guess that's true. I'm just giving other examples
and
of
most of the speed running stuff is usually kind of done for bragging. There's usually not any, like, unless you're talking about like a Super Mario 64 competition or a GoldenEye competition, which I've been watching a lot recently. That's why I'm picking those two. Those are the ones that, if that, they have maybe some sort of prize attached to it. Usually a speed running is usually just more bragging rights. It's usually not.
But the modding community would be serious cause for concern.
Yeah, that's the one I could see you might have an issue with.
Yeah. It's just interesting because, I saw the point mentioned online, and I agree that they need to take a stance against cheaters. But somebody brought up the point that, it's really a technical issue, not a civil suit issue, right? If the game is susceptible to these things, it's kind of like, well, shouldn't Bungie find a way to handle it internally with how the game is designed and developed rather than going after the cheaters? It's, I don't know ethically how that stands up, but
so if you get down to the point where we're talking about just one or two people, I can see that logic. But these guys, Aim Junkies, Laffy Cheese, these are organizations,
right?
They've got coders, they got like a team,
and that's the key. They're selling it for a profit.
It's almost like they're their own corporation.
Yeah, I mean, like I said,
you can't have like another corporation stealing,
reverse engineering the code, and then
you have to look at it like that.
Yeah,
Apple can't reverse engineer the Microsoft operating system and make their own Microsoft system and sell it.
I mean, these companies basically do copy each other all the time, but this is not a case of copying.
No, this is
a case of
trying to give people unfair advantages,
undermining the software itself.
Yeah, the fact that they're actually like a full blown, like you said, they're actually, these cheating companies are like a business.
They're big. I didn't realize how big of an enterprise it was. Like, I gave the example of the one that made $76 million. Now, of course, they're not all making $76 million.
Yeah, but that's a business.
That's at that point, that's like a very successful business.
Yeah.
That's not just a business. That's like a big business.
So I think, that's where I think you do need to go lawyer.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, it's just a very interesting development here in the world of video games that, could set like a weird precedent against cheaters, because I think we need to define cheating, what cheating means, because I do have concern for the modding community. A lot of people love modding their games and downloading mods, and it would be a shame to see developers get a little, litigation happy. With pursuing things. And so it sets kind of a very gray precedent about what exactly is cheating. And I think, right now Bungie's in the right because, well, I would argue it's not really costing them player retention issues. I think they just made a game that is becoming unpopular because it's old and they haven't supported it. And that's the other thing is it's kind of like, oh, we're losing lots of players because they had their highest player counts during the pandemic. Well, no kidding. And now like, well, nobody plays now. Well, because your game is like 5 years old and you haven't made any major updates.
Yeah, if you don't update it,
and you can't I mean, it has been updated, but from what I've been reading online is that people are like, it's just not fun anymore. And that's what happens with games. So I hope that Bungie isn't doing this as a way to excuse lackluster support.
Yeah.
And I hope they're not, doing it for the wrong reasons. I do believe they are in the right to go after these cheat sellers and makers. But, in my mind, I'm like, well, is every game that starts like struggling going to start going after people who are abusing the game? Or are they going to go after modding communities? I feel like there needs to be some kind of like definition of what constitutes, like quote unquote, like illegal cheating.
Yeah. And also like a threshold as to like
the severity of it.
Yeah. Cause I mean, this I would say this is severe, having like these huge companies.
Does this change if it's a single player game? Because this is
I guess it does.
This is an online game that's based on competition.
Yeah.
If it's
a single player game, it's just you against you. So that shouldn't matter.
I mean, I don't know.
I mean, you're right.
You see where I'm coming from with the grayness. Like, I'm in support of Bungie cracking down on cheatings because it's a huge problem.
Yeah.
But you need to define it because otherwise...
There needs to be some walls set up here.
Right, yeah. It's just a very interesting turn of events. I mean, tens of millions of dollars in lawsuits between these two. There was another one they were involved in where they settled out of court. They're really cracking down. So, you know, if you're engaged in any of this activity, just... You know, be warned that Bungie's coming for you.
If you're a part of one of these cheating companies.
Yeah. so
there you go.
Just a very interesting turn of events. I never thought I'd see anything like that in the video game world.
Speaking of things that you never thought you would hear of or see or hear of, it's time for the non-fortune cookie odd news.
We've been talking about cool and its ramifications and how it applies to the hip scene. But maybe you could give us some examples now of the opposite of cool, uncool. Just exactly what is uncool?
My nipples look like milk duds.
Holy shnikes.
It's time for the non-fortune cookie odd news.
It's not of this world. I don't know exactly what it is or what it's doing, but this is not human intelligence, okay? It's not human intelligence we're facing.
How you doing? Me? I'm doing great.
Manda basata. I don't make this stuff up.
I'll take a pound of nuts.
That's a lot of nuts. That'll be $4, baby. You want fries with that?
I seen the celery dance across the baseball fields.
You had me at meat tornado.
No, go past this. Past this part. In fact, never play this again.
Okay. What does that mean?
And now it's time for the non-fortune cookie odd news.
So sit back, get everything you need to get from the kitchen. Be sure and empty the bladders. Go to the bathroom because you're in for a hell of a ride.
Woo! Odd news.
That's right, everyone. It's time for the non-fortune cookie odd news. Here in this segment, Rich researches the news, he reads the news, and I react to the news. He finds a weird, wacky story and keeps it hidden from me, which ensures that all my reactions are my genuine gut reactions to hearing this story for the very first time. I don't know what's about to happen. You guys don't know what's about to happen. And even Rich doesn't know what's about to happen because these stories always take us down wacky and wild paths. And I'm ready to get started. Where are we heading to and why? And when? And where?
Yeah, right.
And what?
There's a lot of questions.
A lot of questions.
How about this? How about it's time for our semi-periodic drunken golf cart story of the time period. This is like a new it's like with like certain regularity. It's like maybe like every 6 weeks.
People do stuff with golf carts because they just give them out to everybody.
Yeah, do you need a driver's license for a golf cart?
I don't think so.
I don't know.
But I don't really
maybe
know.
You don't. I don't know.
I feel like
you should.
I feel like they just hand them out willy-nilly.
I don't know. Maybe you're right because we have another instance here in Florida.
Now, who is this guy in Florida?
It's Florida, and they're crazy.
And it's always Florida.
Yep. 31-year-old Todd Rushing, who is actually a fire medic with the local Clearwater Fire Department.
Okay. So he should know better.
I just realized this is Clearwater. Maybe it's a Delco guy that went down
Oh,
south.
no. You know,
it could be.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Clearwater is where the Phillies are they're training right now.
Yep.
So maybe a nice crazy Delco fan went down there.
Absolutely.
Anyway, he was caught driving an unregistered golf cart on Skinner Boulevard under the influence of alcohol.
Wait, they have to be registered?
I mean, I guess when they're not.
Wait.
Yeah, when they're not being used on a golf course, if they're a private golf cart, they should be. It should be like a vehicle registration. Yeah,
I guess you can buy them privately.
Yeah,
they're not just for golf courses.
No, but I would imagine, yeah, they're a vehicle. They should be like some sort of registered.
Can I buy a golf cart right now, and what can I do with it though?
You mean legally or illegally?
I mean, either or. So wait, are you telling me? I guess you can just buy a golf cart.
Yeah,
they're not that expensive,
right? I mean.
Yeah, what do you need to drive a golf cart? Do you need a license? Do you need a registration? Now I'm more concerned with.
I don't know.
All right, so anyway,
or just when you're bored, you just hop in and go for a ride.
You just go.
Sorry, whoever's this is, just bad luck. Sorry. Anyway, This happened at 10 p.m. on Saturday night.
Okay. All right.
So, yeah, this isn't like, you know, he's having a fun Saturday night. Getting drunk and playing Grand Theft Auto with some golf carts.
That's right. Yeah, that's a good Saturday.
Yep. Deputies stopped him after he was swerving over Skinner Boulevard. So he's not even trying to hide it. Woo!
He's just all over the place.
Yeah. Deputies noted that he smelled of alcohol and had bloodshot, glassy, and watery eyes.
Oh, boy.
When they asked him to do field sobriety tests, he failed. So
okay.
Here
Shocker.
You go. Yeah. Yeah, everything's adding up here. He was booked into the county jail and he was released on Sunday morning. But just it happens like every
so often
weeks or so.
People just they do stuff with golf carts. And you know, I looked it up for Pennsylvania. You have to be 16 years old, possess a valid driver's license. While you're driving, you also need to carry your registration and proof of insurance. And it's illegal to drink and drive. They're called low-speed vehicles.
Yeah, they are vehicles.
So it's still a vehicle.
Yeah.
So, you know, you still have to abide by all people, you know, and I guess it's not that crazy because I didn't know until a second ago what the laws specifically about golf carts are because it's weird. It's not like a car, but it's definitely a vehicle.
Yep. Didn't we have
That's wild?
Didn't we also have a story where we were trying to see like the max speed on a golf cart, and it was like pretty impressive. It was like 30 miles per hour or something.
Yeah, I think they can get up there.
Yeah.
And I've driven a few golf carts, and they're pretty fast.
So I mean, if you are negligent, you could like do some serious damage with a golf cart.
Oh yeah, if you hit somebody.
Yeah.
Okay, so they have an average speed of 12 to 14.
Average,
but you could probably get them going a little. If you're going downhill,
is there a modding community that ramps
are
up?
people tricking out their golf carts? They're putting spinning rims on them and spoilers.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Honestly,
if you can do it with a car, why can't you do it with a golf cart?
You know, if you're not concerned with making it to places quickly, you could just buy a golf cart and just use that as your vehicle. People bike on the road and it's annoying. Why can't I golf cart on the road?
Right. There you go.
I'm just saying.
Perfect.
That harumph.
Logical reasoning.
That's right. Yeah.
I love it. All right. So that's your weekly, or I don't know. Every 5 or 6 weeks we get a story of a golf cart. That's your golf cart update.
It's an odd news mainstay.
Yeah. All right. Instead, now let's get to the main odd news story that I had planned on talking about.
Okay.
And this one, we're going to Texas.
Oh, boy.
Oh, yeah.
Good old Texas.
Coming on down Texas.
The Lone Star State. We got cattle and steak and other forms of cow.
Okay, very good.
That's what Texas is known for, right?
Yep.
Beef.
Yes. Anyway,
are you thinking of the same line that I'm thinking of?
I don't know.
Okay.
Anyway, I got a story here that involves a pair of sisters here.
Okay.
They the sisters are 25-year-old Alexis Davis and 21-year-old Treasure Bibbs.
Oh no. Treasure Bibbs?
Treasure Bibbs. First name is Treasure, like you found treasure.
Right.
And then second name Bibbs. Bibbs.
Bibbs. Treasure
Hey,
Bibbs. That's a weird
How you doing,
name.
Bibbs?
Treasure?
Treasure Bibbs.
Oh man. That's
Did you find that Treasure Bibbs?
Did you find that Treasure Bibbs?
Yes, we did. We found him in the odd news.
All right.
Well, anyway, investigators said that these two sisters were very angry that a neighboring apartment was making too much noise during some love making. This was Valentine's Day this weekend.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yep. And they got angry and busted into their apartment and threatened to shoot them.
Oh.
I'm gonna fucking kill you, motherfucker, old style.
Oh, come on, man.
Yikes.
It's Valentine's weekend. You got to let them have their fun.
You make me into my ultimate force.
What a way to kill the mood.
Yeah.
Not like being threatened at gunpoint to just put a damper on things.
Yeah, come on.
Look, just like to the sisters, just turn up the TV volume.
Yeah. go out, try and go to a bar.
What are
Maybe.
You, what are you doing? It's going to be over in a few minutes. Just like, just deal with it, right?
Yeah, come on.
No, but I mean, like, seriously, how distracting? Just turn up the volume, on the TV. Go out, whatever. Hey, what time of the day was this?
This was early Sunday morning.
Oh, in the morning.
But
go out for the day.
It says early Sunday morning, so it might mean like.
Oh, you mean like early, like the other, like it's dark out, not early like the other way.
Correct. It doesn't. It doesn't say the specific time.
And maybe it's like keeping them up late at night.
Maybe.
I mean,
but still, how long is the guy gonna last?
Hey, look.
Yeah, you're right. Just give it a couple minutes. It'll be over.
Just throw on the white noise machine.
Yeah, come on.
And give it 10-15. They'll be done.
Yeah.
They'll be asleep.
So according to the police report, there was noise emanating from the nearby apartment.
Okay.
Oh wow. Okay, so apparently this didn't go on a short amount of time. This went on a while because they've tried to leave notes through the door. They tried to shoot a little note underneath the door.
Wait, while it's happening though? Just like they're going.
That was their first attempt.
They're just like, and they're just like slip an envelope, like, please be quiet.
Yeah.
Well, it was very erotic. Yes, indeed. It was erotic.
Shut up! Here's an envelope.
So I'm starting to side more and more with the sisters now.
Yeah, I didn't realize it was.
If it's going on so frequently.
They wrote note. Yeah, they wrote notes.
So this sounds like it's an ongoing problem. Like it wasn't just one evening. It sounds like they've been dealing with this and they've been leaving notes and they've been trying to get them to shut the hell up, and they don't. And then on Valentine's Day weekend, they're just like, you know what? Time for the guns.
Yes. If we aren't getting laid, nobody's getting laid.
Right. Look, you can only leave so many notes before you got to shoot someone.
Yeah.
I guess is their logic. That's not actual advice, people.
Yeah. Please don't do this.
Don't do that.
Yeah. The victims are 30-year-old Kevin Frank and 29-year-old Kiara McPherson.
Okay.
They claimed that they busted into the apartment with a firearm and threatened to kill both of them and their kids. Oh, come on. What the kids have to do with that?
Wait, the kids are there?
Oh, well, I mean, maybe they're in another room or something. I mean,
yeah, but if they're loud enough for neighbors to hear.
Oh, I don't know.
So you're telling me the neighbors hear through the walls and over the TV. The kids are like in the next room.
Are they just used to it at this point? They're just like
the kids just think that's just what people do when they go to bed. They just scream.
They're tackling each other.
Yeah, that's right. Mommy and Daddy always wrestle at nighttime.
Yeah. That's our cue to go to bed.
They practice their wrestling. That's our cue to go to bed. That's very upsetting that the children are just right there.
I mean,
and also they would threaten the children.
I don't know. Maybe they're not there. Maybe they just have kids, and they're like, "Oh, we're gonna kill your kids too." But that really requires effort. We're gonna go to a separate location.
So they kill them. Like, all right, get in the car.
We really hate you guys.
We're gonna go hunt down the kids. What the hell, man? That is twisted.
I mean, I don't know. Something's not right here. Yeah, I mean, which is worse, the kids are there or the kids are in another location?
Man, this is just a bad situation.
Yeah.
But also, that's so aggressive. You're going to kill you and the kids.
Yeah, the kids didn't do anything.
God, yeah.
It's not their fault. Why are you bringing them into this?
Jeez.
Anyway.
But what did the couple have to say about not listening to the previous complaints? They're like, oh, they threatened to kill us. They just conveniently leave out the part where they've continuously ignored the complaints.
Look, you got notes.
You got notes. That is the most official form of communication.
Yes.
Like a text message, an email, you can ignore those. But a note, like a handwritten note.
We took the time to write down on paper that you were being too loud.
That's official right there.
Yeah.
That's like just short of a legally binding contract.
Yeah. Like, that's pretty, you're going pretty damn far.
Yeah. And they just ignored it.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know. But still, I don't know.
Who's to say who's right?
Yeah. Busting down the door, brandishing a gun.
That may be a step too far.
That's a step too. Do you think like this is going to be like a movie scene where you're just like going to be like, you got to stop, partner?
And then what was their next step?
Yeah, we're
So
gonna enjoy peace and quiet now.
You literally kick down the door. You're brandishing a gun. You're like, all right, show them a lesson. You just holster it and go back to watching Netflix?
Yep, peace and quiet.
That's right.
Has been achieved.
You just twirl your gun, holster it, and you're like, my job here is done.
Yes.
Like, who are you? Like some Wild West cowboy?
Yeah, we're the... They don't even have the
sex
same
police.
Yeah, they don't even have the same last names. I can't even say it like sisters. I don't know. They claim it says they're sisters, but they got different last names.
What is it? Treasure Bibbs? What? And
yeah,
then
Alexis Davis and then Treasure Bibbs. Screw it. They're the Bibbs sisters.
The Bibbs sisters.
That's a better name. I don't know. Davis.
That sounds like an outlaw gang name.
The Bibbs sisters.
Yeah.
Take that.
Do-do-do. Wow, wow, wow. You know?
Yeah. We here tell you had some sexual relations going on here.
There's not going to be no sex around these parts no more.
If I ain't getting sex, nobody getting sex in this apartment complex.
Listen here, you two. I don't want to hear none of your dirty dog and something.
You dirty dogs.
You dirty dogs.
Had enough of this from you dirty dogs.
I'm putting a stop to this right here, right now, see?
Yeah. See my revolver? It says no more action.
Wow, wow, wow.
Unless it comes from this gun.
That's right.
All right.
Oh, God.
So
did the couple stop?
Well, yeah.
I just like to imagine they just go through the whole thing.
No, I think a gun to your face kills the mood.
That definitely kills the mood.
Yeah. Because that is what indeed happened. That's when Frank and Miss McPherson both called the cops. Davis and Bibbs were. How about that? That should be their outlaw name. Davis and Bibbs.
Davis and Bibbs. That's a good name.
There you go. That should be their outlaw name. Davis and Bibbs. There you go. They were both arrested for aggravated assault with a deadly weapon.
Yep.
Which which unfortunately, if they get the maximum penalty, it could be up to 20 years in prison.
God.
So there you go. You're going to get all the. Well, no, it's not quite in prison. I don't know. Things are going to get worse for you. I don't know.
Yeah,
what
it's going to be less quiet. I'll tell you what, though, that couple can do whatever they want now.
Yeah, they're in the clear now. Yeah.
They're like, our plan worked.
Yes, get the orgy people over.
Get the orgy people over. Call the orgy crew.
There was a bit of a nastiness last night, yes? Some very extreme nastiness, yes? Yes.
Get them over.
I do feel a little bad for the sisters, though, because they're probably so fed up with it. I'm not saying that they were right to threaten them with a gun.
But like, threaten their children.
Threaten the children. But they did leave multiple notes, and this couple, they're just like, screw you. Like, you're in an apartment. Like, there's people, like, stacked on top of each other every which way. You got to be a little respectful.
Yeah, also, what is going on?
Yeah, what are you doing?
Like this is a marathon, and it's loud as hell.
Yeah, yeah, right? Like a multi-hour saga that's just, like, at peak volume the entire time.
Yeah, what?
Like, at a certain point, what
is happening?
Your vocal cords and your lungs are going to give out. Like,
they should.
Yeah,
I would imagine.
God.
Unless, like, one of you is, like, an opera singer or something. I don't know. Mikey went there. I didn't do this.
They saw God.
I didn't do this. Mikey went there.
This cannot be made good. It's shameful. It's a shameful, shameful day.
That is the only song that popped into my head.
You
I don't know.
Person.
I don't know any opera. I don't know opera. You give me what's an opera song?
I don't know. You sick perverted thing. You.
Oh. Just at the top of their lungs.
Yeah, just going full force.
They're putting on a performance, that's for sure.
Yep. Until Davis and Bibbs show up.
The Davis and Bibbs gang.
then it turns from a porno to a western.
I would see this movie.
Yeah,
I would see it.
This seems like a weird Quentin Tarantino movie.
Don't give him any ideas.
Yeah. Well, look, he's got one more movie.
That's true.
Here we go. This is his 10th movie.
Make it happen.
Davis and Bibbs.
Davis and Bibbs.
That's
Davis and Bibbs go to the opera.
I've had enough of everyone's crap.
Oh,
so there you go. That's what I have for you this week in the non-fortune cookie odd news.
Sex operas.
Boy, just yep.
something else.
I just can't believe they threatened the children. Like what?
That really is that is.
They didn't have anything to do with it.
That's aggressive. The kids are just like, what did we do?
They're over in the corner, like
I don't know why they're in the corner, like, whoa, don't bring us into this.
Are you serious?
We didn't do anything.
Yeah.
Like, look, we're a byproduct of this. They started it.
We're just as annoyed as you are.
Yeah, right. The kids are like, yes, please.
Like what?
Oh God.
How do we get tied into this? Poor kids.
Oh man, they're the real victims.
Yeah. Someone help them.
They're stuck in between their parents and the Davis and Bibb twins or whatever.
Yeah. They're either going to get a porno or a Western tonight.
Oh, man.
Poor kids.
And neither of them ends up the way they want it to.
Yeah, come on. Don't
leave the kids out of it.
Yes. Leave them out. You fools. All right. Well, there you go. Officially.
That was a good one.
Officially, that's it. We got to start wrapping this episode up. Oh, man. Thank you, guys. Crazy story to end on. Thank you guys for entertaining us and going along with us for this ride that is the Crispy Noodle Podcast. If you like what you heard, make sure you go to our website, thecrispynoodle.com. Make sure you follow us on all the social media channels. But most importantly, make sure you have a way to get the video podcast sent to you every Wednesday night. You can either do that on YouTube, where you just hit the subscribe button and you'll get our video sent to you when it airs. You can either do it on Facebook, where we're on Facebook Watch, so you can watch the podcast on Facebook, or you can go on Spotify and you'll get the episode on Spotify. Also, you can listen to the podcast in the background on Spotify, and it'll be a traditional audio podcast. And if you want to bring us on the go, you can use Spotify, and you can use Android Auto or Apple CarPlay to take us on the road trip with you. So lots of ways that you can keep hearing the crazy stories and weird things that we've concocted here on the Crispy
Sex
Noodle
operas.
Podcast. Yeah, there you go. Coming soon.
That's right.
Literally.
Oh, God. But not that soon, apparently, because it's got to go a whole opera.
Yeah. There's multiple acts. It's going to take a while.
So many movements. It's great. So lots of ways to check out the Crispy Noodle Podcast. And why would you not want to? I mean, it's sex operas and all. But if you want to get in touch with us individually to share your sports, entertainment, odd news stories, you can find us individually on Twitter. I'm at Mikey Costanzo, MikeyCostanzo.
And I'm at Rich Liebig, RichLiebig. Find us on Twitter. Let us know what's happening. If you want us to talk about something next week, send it to one of those channels. If it's odd news, make sure it goes my way so Mike doesn't. Yeah, he's sealed in his cocoon.
Hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil.
Yes.
Or rather, speak a lot of evil.
That's right, after the fact that we released the episodes. But for right now, we got to wrap this up. This has been the Crispy Noodle Podcast. Let us be the Crispy Noodle in your vegetarian salad of life and boring news. That will do it. We'll see you guys next week.
See you guys.
Later. Bye-bye, all you fine peoples. Good night.
Some of us have great stories, pretty stories that take place at lakes with boats and friends and noodle salad. A lot of people, that's their story. Good times, noodle salad.